Yo, what's up and welcome back. My name is Franco, and if you didn't know already, I work as a physical therapy tech in the Army. And that's the intro that I use when I'm about to talk about something medical from my work experience, and I don't want you to think that I'm just some on the internet who doesn't know what they're talking about. Today I'm going to be talking to you about posture, but I want to warn you right from the start. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about may be different from what you're used to thinking or what you've been told all your life. If you'd like to support the channel in ways other than subscribing and liking and all that YouTube stuff, and you're in the market for a gaming style chair, then check out Secret Lab chairs with the link below. I've had mine for over 2 years, and in my review of it, I talked about how awesome the comfort and quality is, and in my opinion, they make the best chairs of this style. So check them out. A lot of the information found in this video is going to be adapted from an amazing research article written by the people who are on screen now. They're all much more qualified than I am, and they actually gave me permission to adapt this information for this video. So big thanks to them. The article is called Sit Up Straight, Time to Reevaluate, where they present 7 surprising facts about posture, which I'm going to cover in this video. But if you want a too long didn't read, well then here it is. If you're not currently having pain from your posture, then it doesn't matter. That's right, your posture doesn't matter. If you want to know why that is, well then cool, let's cover these 7 facts. But if you're just in pain and you don't really care to know why and you just want to know some things that you can do to make it better, well then you can skip to this part of the video. But before you do that, let me just say this. Part of fixing a problem is understanding it first. Alright, fact 1. There is no single correct posture. How many of you have been sitting somewhere comfortably, minding your own business, when someone like a teacher or a parent walks by and tries to correct your posture or tells you to sit up straight? If you're me, which you're not me, because only I'm me, this has happened all my life. But there is no evidence to support this idea that there's this one right way to sit or stand. In fact, perfect posture is like an unrealistic beauty standard. The picture-perfect posture is uncommon, and it can be frustrating for people who feel like they have to sit that way or else they're gonna eventually feel pain. I slouch. I don't have perfect posture when I sit or stand. I never have, and I probably never will. But when I sit this way or stand this way, I don't have pain. If I sit up straight or try and fix my posture, then I start to feel pain pretty quickly. The idea behind this correction of sitting up straight and fixing your posture is that it's gonna hurt eventually. And I'm just gonna come out and say, I think that's bullshit. If you adopt a harmful posture or position, there's a high chance that it's gonna hurt pretty quickly, kind of like when I sit up straight. Now, if you want to fix your posture for the aesthetic or the look of having that kind of posture, then that's fine. I'm not trying to deter you from that, but just know that it needs to be a gradual change, otherwise you're gonna start feeling pain. Fact 2, differences in posture are a fact of life. Not everyone's spine is exactly the same. People have natural differences in the curve of their spine, and so they're gonna sit and stand differently naturally. You're a special snowflake. Embrace it. Fact 3, posture reflects beliefs and mood. Posture can offer insights into a person's emotions, thoughts, and body image. Understanding the reason behind these preferred postures can be helpful. Take a look inward and ask yourself if your current mental health is affecting your posture, and if it is, someone telling you to sit up straight is not the solution. Consider working on your mental health in the way that you view yourself, and I'm not trying to say that this is a simple fix, but at least knowing that it is one of the sources of your problem gives you a starting place to start fixing it. Fact 4, it's safe to adopt more comfortable postures. This isn't boarding school. Unless you're actually watching this from a boarding school, in that case, bummer. Don't be afraid to find a posture that's more comfortable for you. You don't need to sit one way all the time, even if that posture is something that people commonly tell you to avoid. This does not apply to people on planes who take their shoes off and put their feet on the seat in front of them so close to the person that they might be able to see them or bump into them. That's different. You need to find a different comfortable posture, you grossy, because nobody likes that. Fact 5, the spine is robust and can be trusted. Have you ever seen someone in a really big truck that looks like it could drive over a minefield without even noticing it, but they're going over a speed bump so slow and carefully as if their suspension is made out of glass? Listen, your spine is a monster truck. Don't be afraid to crush some cars. This idea that your spine is this delicate structure that must be protected at all costs puts fear in your brain and leads you down that embarrassing path of being the person who doesn't deadlift because they think that it's bad for your spine. No! If you think that everything is gonna hurt your spine, well, then that's what you're training your brain to think. And eventually, that's exactly what's going to happen. Everything will hurt. Fact 6 is a doozy, but bear with me. Sitting is not dangerous. When it comes to posture, that is. Now, that being said, moving around and changing position from time to time is helpful, and being physically active is important for your overall health. You want to avoid being sedentary, and when I usually talk about this, I talk about a standing desk that allows you to stand up when you want and also sit down. But guess what? Sitting down in one position for a long time is sedentary. Standing in one position for a long time is also sedentary. So don't be afraid to sit, but don't forget to move around from time to time as well. And the final fact, fact 7, one size does not fit all. Everybody is different. Different postures work well for some people and not for others. Different ways of lifting work for some people and not for others. The general advice given by people who are honestly just trying to be helpful are not necessarily based on evidence, but they're based on what works for the majority of people. Try different things out, but ultimately pick what works best for you. All right, so either you skip to this part at the beginning like a filthy casual, or you're one of the real ones who watches my videos all the way to the end and comes to Twitch and hangs out. Either way, you might be thinking, listen, Franco, my body hurts and I'm pretty sure it's related to posture, which, okay, it might be, but just let me say one more thing before we move on to the stretches and exercises. Most people know what a placebo is, and if you don't, well then it's a harmful pill, medicine, or procedure that works more physiologically than it does physically. You think it works, and so it does. The brain is crazy like that. But do you know what a nocebo is? A nocebo is a harmful psychological effect on your health based on different factors such as negative expectations. The power of the brain goes both ways, and sometimes people convince themselves that there is a problem or that their pain is caused by a certain thing. It's hard to treat an idea that you planted in your brain, and sometimes the only solution to a nocebo problem is a placebo solution. At the risk of sounding really harsh, and I hope I don't offend anybody, but unfortunately this is a situation where fake problems require fake solutions. And if you've convinced yourself that your pain is caused by your posture and the only solutions are a back brace or a really fancy expensive chair or sitting up straight, well then you've put yourself into a corner where those are your only solutions. All that being said, there are some things that are harmful, and if you really think that there's a mechanical reason for your pain, well then I have some things that you can do that might be helpful. I'm gonna break down these common problems by what usually hurts on people. If your neck hurts and it's related to your posture, then I'm almost positive it's because you're looking too low. You're spending too much time looking down, and that's probably because you're either looking down at your phone or your monitor is too low. Figure out why it is that you're looking down too much and stop it. If it's your monitor, well then let me show you what you have to do. I've made the screen all gray. I thought about doing it white, but I respect dark mode. I'm gonna put an X on screen dead center of this video. If you full screen the video and my math is correct, then this should be the center of your monitor. When your head is in a neutral position and you're looking straight forward, this X should be just below eye level. So eye level should be about where this line is. Obviously, you'll have to adjust to what feels best for your monitor and head, but this is a good starting point. If your shoulders or upper back hurts, well then it's probably because you're holding a weird position. If your shoulders are slouching forward and it's painful, well then you need to do something to pull them back into neutral. If you spend a lot of time with your shoulders slouched forward, well then your chest becomes tight and it actually pulls them forward. So you can just do a simple chest stretch to open it up and kind of get your shoulders back into a normal position. To do a chest stretch, find the corner of a wall or stand in the door frame. Put one hand up on the side that you want to stretch and step forward with your arms staying in place because of the wall. Make sure not to compensate by rotating towards the side being stretched. If anything, you can actually rotate away from that side to make the stretch more intense. If you think your upper back is weak, well then that weakness could be causing pain and you need to strengthen it. Rows are a fantastic and simple exercise that you can do to strengthen your upper back. Get yourself some cheap resistance bands. I'll link some down below, and do some upright rows. When you do these, imagine there's something in between your shoulder blades and you're trying to pinch it with your shoulder blades. If you're a baller on a budget and you can't buy some bands, then find something heavy-ish in your house, bend over, and row it towards your body. Do 3 sets of 10 and do it frequently. If your lower back hurts and it's caused by your posture, it might be because you have too much lumbar flexion. Lumbar referring to that lower back portion of your spine. If I create an arch with my lower back, well then that's gonna be lumbar extension. And if I curl my lower back, well then that's gonna be lumbar flexion. Imagine your pelvis is like a bucket of water that you're holding by the sides. If I pour water out of the front of that that bucket, that's my pelvis moving forward, and that's me creating an arch with my lower back. If I try to pour water out of the back of that bucket, that's going to be my pelvis moving backwards and my spine going into lumbar flexion or curling forward. Knowing how to move your pelvis in these two different ways is important when trying to control your posture and positioning. A lot of people have trouble with these movements without moving their upper body, and those people are usually men. Going back and forth between these two positions can actually relieve some lower back pain, but it's also helpful because you're going to find the extreme forward position and the extreme back position, and somewhere in the middle is going to be neutral and where you should be trying to stay. A lot of times when people get this idea that they need to stand up straight, they overcompensate by puffing out their chest and really extending their back. And then they walk around all day like this and wonder why their back hurts. Well, you're putting your spine into an extreme position and then loading it with your weight as you walk around all day. You dingus, why do you think it hurts? If you want some exercises that are going to help with this lower back pain, well, then I'm going to suggest the McGill Big 3. It's going to help strengthen your core stability. The curl up starts with you on your back. One leg is straight and the other is bent. If you have pain that shoots down your leg, make sure that one is the straight leg. Place both hands under your lower back to create a small natural arch, and then pick your big 5 head off the ground for a few inches and hold that position for 10 seconds. Don't lift it so high that you lift your shoulders off the ground, and make sure that your lower back doesn't move either. If you lift too much, your lower back will start pressing against your hands, and you don't want that. You should feel this in your core, and you should do it about 5 to 6 times. The side plank is done on your side. Stretch out your legs and then support your body weight with your bent arm. Make sure your body is generally straight and not bent. Make sure that you're bracing your core so that you don't start looking like a check mark, and hold this position for 10 seconds, but work on moving up to longer holds and do it about 5 to 6 times as well. If you can't do a normal plank, there's no shame in doing them with your knees bent instead. The same rules apply, but this position is just going to be easier for you to hold. Build up your core strength to where you can eventually do a normal plank. The bird dog has a weird name, but I didn't come up with it. Get on all fours, and without allowing any movement in your lower back, with your core braced, extend one arm as well as the opposite leg. If you do this with both limbs on one side, well, then make sure that you record it and then send it to me, because I'm either gonna laugh that you fell because you can't hold your balance like that, or I'm gonna be really impressed that you're able to do that without falling. It may be helpful to place an object on your lower back when you do this exercise. If it falls off, then you're rotating your lower back too much. Hold the position for 10 seconds and then alternate arms and legs to do it on the other side for another 10 seconds. Do this 5 to 6 times on each side. If you learned something about posture and if you're dealing with pain, well, then I hope that you can use this information to eventually get past that. If you're a physical therapist and you hated everything I just said because you're dead set on sticking to outdated ideas and putting fear in people's brains so that they don't trust their bodies, well, then go ahead and send me an email with all of your concerns to nobodycares@fracno.tv, and I swear, I promise, I'll get to it eventually. If you have any questions about this stuff, as always, leave a comment below because I read them all and I try to answer the ones that I have answers to. But only do that after you've liked this video and subscribed. I'll know if you didn't. Peace! Oh my God, it's happening. Gee. Airspeed too high. Brake, brake, brake. No! 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 Ah!